Dr. Derrell Peel, our livestock marketing specialist, joins us now. Derrell, a lot of people smiling because we saw some nice rain this week. How will this impact the situation for cattle producers?
Well, obviously, any rain helps, right? We've been through some extremely dry conditions, so the rain is helpful. We have to be realistic about what it's going to do for us. So it can help the wheat pasture. Other cool season forages may see some benefit from this. But in reality, we're not going to grow a lot of new forage this time of year other than those. We're not going to make a lot more hay. So I think for a lot of producers, it doesn't maybe change the immediate situation all that much, but obviously it's the first step in curing the drought and maybe sets us up for a lot more help down the road.
How are the feeder cattle markets performing this fall, and will this rain help out in that area?
Well, the markets started in September pretty high, almost as high as they were last spring. They did see some pressure in October and dropped a little bit. Some of that may be seasonal pressure, but a lot of it had to do with the fact that the outside markets were weaker. Futures markets had dropped. Now we've seen the futures markets come back, and the feeder cattle markets have already started to turn around, which is a little unusual for this time of the year. The other thing we're watching, of course, is that the volumes have been high all summer. We've been marketing cattle early, and this last week, for the first time in Oklahoma, we've seen a year-over-year decrease in that feeder volume. So, when you add to that and then some rain and the potential for at least some later wheat pasture, all of that is probably supportive for the markets.
Let's hope so. Now, what did the latest cattle on feed report indicate about the cattle market conditions?
The October cattle on feed report showed that placements in September decreased, the biggest decrease in over a year, and then the marketings were higher than, not higher than expected, but higher than last year. So the combination of those brought the on-feed inventory for October 1st down below a year ago for the first time this year. We've been expecting this to turn at some point, but because of the drought, we've been placing cattle early. We've been moving cattle into the feedlots. We think maybe now we're at the end of that, and we will see these numbers tighten up and the feedlot production begin to slow down as we go forward.
It's hard to believe we're winding down October already. What is your outlook for the remainder of the year?
Well, we've sort of expected all year that we would see eventually turn to tighter conditions from a cattle number standpoint, from a cattle slaughter standpoint, and beef production. And we haven't really seen that yet, but we think it's about to turn. So as we finish out this year, I think we'll start to see beef production decrease on a year-over-year basis. Cattle slaughter will decrease some as we go forward. And certainly into next year, then, our expectations are for generally tighter conditions on the supply side of this market. And that'll all be supportive for prices as we go forward.
Okay, well, keep us posted, Derrell. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.